Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I almost said staring into the abyss. It's been a long couple fucking days, guys. Andy Andrews, old boy, James Ash. Okay, that's done. Listen, we got to fucking talk because there's some crazy, crazy shit that's been going on, and everybody knows what the hell we're talking about tonight because it's what everybody's fucking talking about tonight. Donald Trump and the shot heard around the world. Um, Now we got to be careful. Old boy has told me that I got to be careful tonight because he don't want to lose his job. So here's what it is. Let's start this way. There is a hell of a lot of absolute bullshit being said on the internet. A whole lot of stupidity. So let's start there. And I'm gonna say a couple things that other people are saying that's absolute utter bullshit, and then I will explain why it's bullshit. Okay, let's start with the biggest bullshit of them all. There's a post on 4chan that a guy is claiming to be the sniper that was on top of that roof, not the one that shot at Trump, but the police sniper that everybody's seen that video of. That they're saying, why didn't he take out the guy before he got to shoot at Trump? And supposedly the post is from him, and he was saying that he had the guy in his sights for like 3 or 4 minutes, and he couldn't get the okay to shoot. They kept telling him, he kept asking to take the guy out, and they kept saying no. Okay, so he did not have permission to take the guy out. That's the claim that's being made. And you have a bunch of people with really big ass channels, really big ass accounts that are repeating this bullshit. So let me set this one straight quick, because this is an easy one. This is like right down the middle, knock it out of the park, simple thing. A counter sniper team, okay, on Secret Service protective detail, or usually it's a Secret Service sniper, but in this case, I don't know if this guy was Secret Service. He might have been a regular police SWAT sniper, because they didn't have very many actual Secret Service people there at that event. And I'll get into that here in a little bit and explain why that is and what the hell's going on with that. But usually it's Secret Service. But regardless, okay, those snipers are under the exact same rules of engagement as any other law enforcement officer. Okay, there's no special rules of engagement for them. They are just law enforcement. So they follow the same rules of engagement as any cop. Okay? They do not have to have permission to take the shot. Their whole purpose there is to scan. Okay? They're gonna block out an area that they're gonna be able to scan back and forth the whole event and make sure nothing's going on. And if they get anybody in their sights that's doing something they ain't supposed to be doing, that's a threat, they have the freedom to take them out immediately. They do not have to ask permission. There is no radioing headquarters and saying, I have a threat, he has a gun, he's pointed at the president, what do I do? No, you fucking shoot the guy. That's what you do. There is no communication there, okay? So anybody that's telling you that the guy had him in his sights and he never took the shot because he was told not to, they're full of shit. That's not the way that works, okay? And I can tell you with absolute confidence that's not the way that works. Go listen to Dan Bongino's show today. His podcast on Rumble. He was a Secret Service agent. He worked protective details. He organized protective details. He said it on his show today, the exact same thing I'm saying. That is absolute horse shit. It's a bullshit thing, okay? That post is not real, and that is not the rules of engagement that those guys go by. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, there were a lot of reasons to think that this thing wasn't on the level. Okay? But I've seen a lot of people online, especially very early in the very beginning, before we knew that other people had been hit and that one firefighter died, shielding his family. Horrible story. What a fucking hero that guy was. That's absolutely heartbreaking. But early on, a lot of people were saying that it wasn't real, that it was staged, it was all bullshit. To those people, come on, man. As Joe Biden would say, come on, man. The idea, get the fuck out of here. It's absolute bullshit. That's another one, right? But I'm going to say right now, there were a lot of things about this that don't pass the sniff test. They don't add up. And I'm not saying this wasn't a real event. I'm not saying that the guy didn't shoot Trump. I'm not saying that anybody staged this. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that dude climbed up onto that roof with a gun, a rifle, walked up to it carrying a ladder, climbed up there, spent 3 or 4 minutes up there shimmying into position. The entire time, a giant crowd of people are pointing and screaming, hey, there's somebody on that fucking roof. He's got a gun. Hey, get over there. Cops everywhere. But he got off a shot anyway. Okay, that's kind of crazy. The building that he was climbing on was the staging area for all the law enforcement for the event. So literally, building full of cops. But yet somehow he was able to climb up on top of it and take his sweet time getting set up. Before he shot, one of the police officers responded to the crowd yelling, climbed up the ladder, and confronted the man. The guy turned and pointed the gun at the cop. The cop turned around and fled back down the ladder and ran away, which gave the guy the opportunity to take the shots. A half hour before the event, they had already made contact with this guy that did the shooting. A half hour before, they had already recognized him as suspicious. He was acting suspicious, and he was a threat. And they actually went on a foot chase after this fucking guy. He hid in the warehouse. They couldn't find him. So why the fuck did they let Trump get on that stage? That doesn't make any sense, does it? A half hour before Trump steps foot on that stage, they're chasing this guy on foot and they lose him. They know he's around. They can't find him. Why did nobody say, hey, why don't you just not go up on stage yet until we find this fucking guy and make sure that everything's safe? That's number one. That's a huge failure by the Secret Service. They let Trump get up on that stage when they had a suspicious threat that they were chasing that they couldn't find. Number two, why was there no cops or anything on top of that fucking building? That thing was, there's different reports. Some say 130 feet, some say 150 feet, somewhere in that range. Okay, let's go with the longest estimate, 150 feet. Or 150 yards, I'm sorry, not feet, yards. Let's go with that. Optimum positioning to take a shot at the president. You have clear line of sight from that roof to the podium, unimpeded. You have the high ground. Why the fuck was there nobody on that roof? Why was that allowed to be unsecured? Rule number one for the Secret Service: anything up to like a half mile away, any tall ground you take, you put cops there. If you don't have an extra Secret Service, you put police officers on top of that fucking roof so that nobody can get the high ground and take a shot. If the president comes in to talk somewhere and you have a water tower like a half mile away, they will put a cop on that fucking water tower to make sure that nobody can get up there and take a shot. Don't tell me that it was 150 yards away, so it was outside the perimeter, so they didn't worry about it. 150 yards is nothing, bro. I can shoot a squirrel through the fucking eye from 150 yards all day long. I've been doing that shit since I was like 8 years old. At 8 years old, I could shoot a squirrel right through his fucking eye from 150 yards. 10 out of 10 times. You cannot tell me that that's a hard shot. That's a gimme, dude. That is a gimme for any of us that actually hunt. That's an all-day shot, bro. All day. Why wasn't that roof secured? Now, the head of the Secret Service, the director, chick named Kimberly, one of them fucking diversity hires who don't know her ass from a hole in the ground. She was asked that. Why the fuck wasn't that roof secured? You know what she said? Well, we thought about it, but we decided not to put anybody up on that roof because it had a slope to it and it might be dangerous. The bitch is lying. Okay, let me tell you why the bitch is lying. Everybody's seen that fucking video of this actual sniper team that's on the roof beside Trump. That fucking roof is like this. Way more slant than the roof that the dipshit that took the shots was on. So don't tell me you weren't going to put anybody up there because it was sloped. You're full of fucking shit. Because the sniper team was on a roof way more sloped than that. So that right there is horse shit. She should resign in disgrace. She is a fucking joke. Let me tell you something else. Another thing that everybody's been saying is bullshit that isn't bullshit. They've been saying that the report that the Secret Service detail guarding Trump had repeatedly asked for reinforcement, repeatedly asked for more security, more resources to be added because they did not have enough to secure him. Over and over again, for months and months and months, have been saying, we need more people. We need more stuff. We don't have enough to protect this guy. He's got the highest threat level of anybody right now. And you give us a skeleton crew. Now, they've been saying that that's bullshit. It's not bullshit. That comes from sources directly in the Secret Service that's working that fucking detail said that. That is 100% true. They were asking for reinforcements. They were asking for more support. And they were denied over and over and over again. Y'all remember the fucking Democrats just recently tried to pass a bill to take Trump's Secret Service away from him completely. They tried. Right out in public, dude. They tried to pass a fucking law. So don't tell me that that's bullshit. It's not bullshit. That's 100% true. They did that and they refused to give him what he needed to be protected. Just like they refused to give RFK Jr. any Secret Service protection at all. Now tell me that's not fucking crazy. His uncle JFK and his daddy RFK were both assassinated. One while he was president, the other while he was running for president.
Yeah, but now they said that they're actually going to give it to him.
Yeah, because Trump wrote that thing up. I saw that. So this administration has proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they don't want these guys protected. So Trump is dealing with a skeleton crew of Secret Service. Not what he needs. Okay, and on that skeleton crew, you all saw the video when he was being taken and put into the beast and driven away. You all saw the chick. There was multiple female Secret Service officers there, tiny little things. Ain't capable of protecting nothing. The one couldn't even put her fucking gun in the holster. Finally just gave up and held it like this until she thought no one was looking. Then she lifted her whole thing up to put it in right. Everybody's talking about that diversity hires. It's bullshit. They're not capable of doing the job. You get that famous picture of the one female Secret Service agent up at the podium cowering instead of covering the president like she's supposed to. Doing absolutely no good. And then the one right there in the bear hug with Trump, who is bent down waist level instead of standing up and blocking like she's supposed to be. All this shit completely exposed on Trump while she's down here ducking. That's not how you do the job. Diversity hiring is bullshit. It's going to get someone killed. You can do that shit at 7-Eleven if you want. Who gives a shit? I don't care if a chick serves me my Slurpee. But I'll be damned if Secret Service should not be the entire point of it, the best. The absolute best in the world. Most women, 99.9% of women, can't do that job. What if you get somebody like me coming after somebody? I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. I am highly trained. What's one of them little girls going to do? I will just slap the fucking hell out of them, knock them out of the way. What are they going to do? Maybe shoot me if they can figure out how to work the fucking gun. They couldn't put it back in the holster. Maybe they can't even get it out of the holster. Look at the physical training stuff. Look at it. They don't have to do as much as men do to qualify. A man, you got to be able to pick up that body, throw him over your shoulder, and drag him and get him out of there. Because if your protectee is down, you need to be able to pick him up and go. You can't tell me any of them women could pick Trump up and carry him off that fucking stage. There's no way. Trump's a big boy. Trump's like 6'4", 6'5", something like that. He's a big boy. Them chicks can't pick him up and move him. Why are they on that fucking detail? I'm not saying that chicks can't be in the Secret Service. There's roles for them. There's places they can be. If you say you're guarding somebody like a Hillary Clinton or something, and she needs to go to the can, we'll send a chick with her. That way it's not awkward. You know, you can have a man posted at the door, have a man go in and check first, make sure the bathroom's clear, have a man posted at the door, send a woman in with her. Stuff like that, that's acceptable. But for over half the team to be female like that and little, that doesn't make any sense when you got a gigantic guy that you're trying to protect. Think about when they picked him up and they're all trying to cover him like this, be human shields over Trump, so that if there is anybody else going to take a shot, they hit the Secret Service guys instead of hitting Trump, right? That's the whole point of that. How are any of those chicks going to cover? They're like half his size. If you got a big guy like that, you got to make sure the people guarding him are big. Because they got to be shields. They got to be able to cover him so they can get him out of there. So not only did he have a skeleton crew, but he had a skeleton crew made up of people that were not qualified to do the fucking job. And their skeleton crew got cut down substantially for this event. They took a lot of them away, most of them. Now, why did they do that? Because Jill Biden, the president's wife, decided she wanted to have an event that same day in that same town. That's what the reports are. So she went and had an event, and they took the Secret Service from Trump's detail and moved them over to her detail as extra security for her event, leaving Trump even more vulnerable than he used to be. So they give them a skeleton crew in the first place, made up of people that aren't capable of doing the job, most of them. Then they cut that amount of people down substantially because of the other event, leaving him even less. So why is that important? It's important because they had to rely on the local PD to do a lot of the stuff that the Secret Service would ordinarily be doing. The counter surveillance teams, the perimeter surveillance teams, those couldn't be Secret Service. They had to be normal PD because they didn't have the manpower. So that town has only got like 6,000 people in it. It's not like it's not like New York City or something, or LA, where you got seasoned hard cops that have done shit. This is fucking Barney Fife land, guys. This is small town America. I live in a small town. Andy, you lived in this small town with me many, many years. Can you imagine the Strasburg PD being responsible for the Secret Service detail? It's like Barney Fife walking the fuck around. That's what we had. That's why you had a cop go up to the top and then run away like a little bitch instead of doing his job. That's why you had a fucking building where the cops were staging that a gunman was able to climb up on top of, lay down, roll around for 4 minutes, get into position, and then take shots. How's that possible?
I don't know. I think Chris Botkins could have done it.
Botkins is awesome. I love that guy. How's that possible, guys? There's only a couple options here. One, this little 20-year-old dork who was kicked out of a gun club because he couldn't shoot straight somehow became a expert level assassin capable of ninja skills that would put anybody on Mortal Kombat to shame, somehow magically got up on top of a roof with nobody seeing him and made the shot of a lifetime. That's option one. Option two, complete and total incompetence. That's option two. Option three is it was designed that way. It was planned. Those are the only three choices. So I don't think option one holds any water, because this guy is not, he's not a world famous assassin. He's some little dork, right? So that's out the window. Number two, incompetence. I think there's some of that. There's some of that, but it goes beyond that, because understand there was nobody on that roof. There's nobody stationed on that roof to secure it, to make sure that nobody can get up there and take a shot. That's Secret Service 101, dude. That is the first thing you do. You take out any elevated positions, like half a mile out, and you make sure nothing has line of sight to the president. If that means you got to put up big banners, if that means you got to use the news trucks with the big satellite dishes on them, move those into position, whatever you got to do, you take away line of sight so nobody can get a shot. That's the first fucking thing you do. So you can't tell me a roof 150 yards away with optimum line of sight to the president is left with nobody on it. And that wasn't a conscious decision. That's not an oversight. That's not them saying, oh shit, we didn't see that there. Dude, it's right fucking there. It's 150 yards. It's a football field and a half away. That's it. Like, you could see it. It's right fucking there. It is the best possible location on the entire fucking place to take a shot. If I was going there hunting and I didn't have a tree stand, right? Take Trump out, take the fucking whole rally out. It's just a field again, right? Let's say there's a lot of deer in that field and I want to get me one. If I didn't have a tree stand, I'm climbing on top of that fucking roof because it's the best possible location to shoot. It's the flattest. It doesn't have as steep of an angle as the other ones. And you can see all that shit from that roof. That is the optimum position for a sniper to be. So there's no way they said, I don't think that's a good idea to put somebody up there. Now remember, old Kimberly, the dipshit, head of the fucking Secret Service, said that they had a discussion about whether to put snipers up on that roof or not, and they decided against it. A decision was made to not put snipers up there. So from the horse's mouth, she said herself, the decision was made to not put snipers up there. They chose to leave him vulnerable. Why? Why? Now, I'm not going to go into conspiracy land here and say Biden's trying to kill Trump, right? I'm not going to say that. Some of you might be thinking that. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong either. I'm not saying shit, right? Not till more evidence comes out, because I don't know for sure. But what I am telling you, 100% verified, you can go and watch the fucking interview. She said a decision was made not to put anybody on that roof. So they intentionally left that vulnerable. She also said in that interview that a half hour before the fucking event, police had an interaction with this guy and deemed him a threat. And they were chasing him. A foot chase happened. They were after this cocksucker. And he did the old Scooby-Doo thing where he went inside this door, came out that door or something, and gave him the slip. Ended up hiding in the warehouse. They didn't know where the fuck he went. So they knew a half hour before Trump ever got on that fucking stage. They knew that there was a threat there. They also knew that that threat was not fucking accounted for. So at that point, I'm sure somebody must have said, hey, guys, we got some crazy asshole running around here carrying a gun and a fucking ladder. Maybe we might want to fucking do something about that giant goddamn roof that's the best fucking shot available. I'm just a fucking redneck from the mountains. I fucking can figure that shit out. What the fuck? You're telling me the Secret fucking Service, nobody said, hey guys, that's the best shot to take the best spot to take a fucking shot at the president? We got an asshole running around with a ladder and a gun. We don't know where the fuck he went. Get somebody up there. Nobody said that. In that half-hour period, nobody decided, maybe we ought to not put the fucking president up on the stage with some crazy asshole running around that we don't know where he is and we can't find him. And we were chasing him right around this building that has the best shot in the whole fucking area. Maybe we ought to tell Trump, hey, why don't you just chill back here for like 15, 20 minutes? They have a safe room. Every event has a safe room where you can put the fucking protectee, where you can safeguard him to make sure shit is right before he goes up. Every single site has that. You cannot tell me that nobody said, hey, why the fuck are we putting him on stage? We don't even know where this guy is. Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't pass the fucking sniff test. Why? Why? Now, a lot of people are talking about that shit that Biden said. Put him in the bullseye, right? Making a big deal of that. Yes, it's stupid rhetoric, but it's the same thing the left does, man. The left says that shit like when Sarah Palin would say something about a bullseye, they would fucking freak out about that. That's a distraction. That's horse shit. Don't listen to that. It's stupid. Right? Yes, Biden said it, but we all fucking know what he meant. He meant, hey, take the fucking focus off me. I'm supposed to be your guy here. Let's focus on Trump. You're fucking me. I'm already losing this fucking thing, and now you're fucking me even worse because you keep telling everybody I need to drop the fuck out. So put the focus on that fucking guy. That's what he was saying. He wasn't saying shoot the motherfucker. He wouldn't say that out loud. Well, he might. He's fucking dumber than shit. His brain is like scrambled eggs at this point. He is not fucking there. So he might say it out loud, but he wasn't. You can look at the context of what he was saying and know that's not what he meant. So shut the fuck up with that nonsense. You sound like a fucking leftist when you do that, guys. We make fun of these dickheads when they do it, and then you fucking people do it. Stop. It's stupid. Focus on the fucking important shit. Why was there nobody on that goddamn roof? Why did they put Trump on the fucking stage when they knew there was a threat? Why? Why did they have no aerial surveillance? None. A fucking $50 drone from Amazon could have fucking seen the guy on the roof. It's a white fucking roof in the middle of the day. You got some tall, skinny dickhead crawling around on the motherfucker for minutes. You telling me a drone wouldn't have picked that up? You couldn't have seen him? Why was there no drone? Why was there no aerial surveillance plan at all? Where is it? What the fuck? It's bullshit. This is what I'm going to tell you. Any Secret Service detail, I don't care if it's just for somebody's kids, that it adds like nobody even knows who the fuck they are. There's no chance anything's going to happen to them. Any detail would have secured that fucking roof, first thing. They would have made sure that line of sight was taken out. They would have made sure there was somebody stationed there. You can't tell me that nobody thought of that. You can't tell me that that was a responsible decision. They're trying to pretend like, oh, well, we fucked up, but, you know, it's okay. No, it's not fucking okay. Trump almost died. See, a lot of people online are also saying this shit like the dude missed because he can't shoot and all this bullshit. The only reason Trump is still breathing free air is because he decided to turn his fucking head to look at that graphic that he put up. If you look, they did a face mapping simulation with the bullet coming in because they have the picture of the bullet. So they know the trajectory, that picture where you can see it coming towards his head. So they know the trajectory of the bullet. They did a face mapping simulation of it, and it shows that bullet was headed for his temple. That was a kill shot. If his head stays the way it was, he's dead. But by the grace of God, he turned to look at the graphic that he put up, that he had put up on the screen, that he was referencing when he was in that part of the speech. And when he turned his head, it took the top of his fucking ear. That guy didn't miss. He made a good shot. Trump moved his head at the perfect moment to not die. If his head would have stayed still, that's death, man. That's brains on the fucking stage on live TV. That's what that is. We're having a whole different fucking conversation at this point. Trump doesn't move his head, this country is in civil war. I promise you that. You can say that that's crazy talk. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. And I'm not saying I'm calling for it. And I'm not saying I want it. Because I've seen it. I've seen war. I've seen people get blown to pieces. You don't want to see that shit. The only people that call for that shit are people that ain't never been there. I spent my whole life on bases, man. I saw terrorist attacks. I saw people get blown to pieces. That's not something you want to fucking go through. War is a motherfucker. But I promise you, Trump doesn't move his head, that's what we would have been looking at, guys. And if any of you are honest, you'll fucking agree. You'll say the same thing. You know that a good portion of this country, they had been ready to go. Because there's a good portion of us that are really fucking pissed off right now. I'm one of them. I'm not pissed off enough to hurt anybody, but I'll tell you this. Something fucking stinks here, man. This is some bullshit. This is not incompetence. This is done on purpose. Now, how far that goes, what that means, we'll have to wait and see. I don't get out ahead of my skis. You know, I'm not going to sit there and tell you there's some grand conspiracy to take out Trump led by Joe Biden, because that's not the truth. At least not as I see it yet. Simply, I think because Joe Biden's not capable of planning to go to the bathroom. Joe Biden's not capable of planning what he wants to eat tonight for dinner. He's functionally retarded at this point. I mean, the dude's had, I don't know how many strokes, fucking brain surgeries. He's fucked, man. The dude is fucked. Everybody knows it. So do I think that he's in charge of this shit and targeting Trump? No, I don't. Do I think that somebody else was? I'll let you decide that. I'm not going to give my answer on that because I don't want old boy to lose his job because I love the man. But I'm telling you this, something stinks, man. Somebody has shit in our garden. And they're trying to pretend it's fertilizer, but it ain't. Well, I guess shit is fertilizer, but it ain't the kind of fertilizer we want. This is bullshit, guys. They didn't secure the roof. They didn't take out line of sight. They cut the Secret Service detail down to a skeleton crew. They did not secure the roof when they knew there was somebody up there because you had people screaming and hollering about it for 4 or 5 minutes. Cops right there. We know they knew because a cop went up the ladder and ran away. So that's proof right there that they knew that somebody was up there. But yet, he was still able to shoot. Why didn't anybody radio that sniper team and say, hey, guys, shoot this motherfucker? Why'd the cop run away? I'm not saying that dude is part of the conspiracy. I think he just got scared because somebody pointed a gun at him. But my question to you is, why the fuck is Barney Fife climbing a ladder to try to take out an assassin? Where's the Secret Service? It's their fucking job. So, Kimberly, you need to fucking answer for this shit. You can't just say, oh, mistakes were made, shit happens, I'm not going to step down, you know, we can't let this happen again, because that's bullshit. Because you know what's going to happen, guys. This ain't over. This is not fucking over. For every single one of you listening to this right now who are like, whoo, he survived, thank God. It's not fucking over, man. They're going to do it again. This wasn't some little dork that decided to take a shot at the president. It doesn't add up, man. The evidence doesn't match. It would have to be the biggest coincidence in the world that all of these mistakes were made and things were done intentionally, intentional decisions to not do this, not do that, and not do this, which go against everything that the Secret Service normally does. And then just coincidentally, it happened to be that very day that some little dipshit decides he's going to take a shot, right? Some guy who can't shoot straight, who just climbs up a ladder and decides he's going to go for it, right? Just pure coincidence that he showed up. On the same day, they decided to not follow any of the fucking rules they normally follow. Just a coincidence that Jill Biden decided she was going to have an event on the other side of town, huh? That, oh, wait, I don't have enough Secret Service. I need you to take the majority of Trump's people and bring over here to me. Don't worry, nothing will happen. That's a coincidence too, right? How many coincidences until it's absolutely fucking impossible that it's a coincidence? Once again, make up your own mind. I'm telling you, man, it ain't over. It ain't over. Trump went to the RNC, man. He was there last night. It'll be a fucking miracle if they don't try it again. But next time, it ain't going to be some guy with a gun. That ain't how it works. It's going to be trying to poison his food or showing up to the RNC with a fucking truck bomb or something like that. It's going to be something crazy. But they're not going to stop. Why would they stop? They just made shit worse for themselves. Trump was kicking their ass by like 15 points, according to the average of all the polls. He was going to win in a landslide any fucking way. They wanted to get Biden's dumb ass to step down. He won't step down. They don't have any way to fucking make him step down. So they're like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? Biden won't go away. We're fucked. We're going to lose. And when we lose, we're going to fucking jail. So what do? Now Trump almost gets assassinated. Comes up out of the pile like a motherfucking boss. Shaking his fist, yelling, fight. Heroic. They're going to make a fucking statue of that moment. You watch. That's some badass shit, bro. Dude, I was so fucking hyped when I was madder than a motherfucker watching it. But then I saw him get up. I was like, fuck yeah. That's my fucking president. He ain't falling down the stairs, shitting his pants in front of people. That's a fucking man right there. I was hype as a motherfucker, man. I was ready to roll. I was like, bring some motherfucker over here. You know what I mean? I was going. Now his ass going to win by like 30 points. You watch. You thought it was going to be a landslide before. They were talking like he might get over 300 electoral votes. I'm saying he might get like 400 electoral votes now. But he's got to make it to the fucking election. You trust these fucking assholes to protect him? After what they just fucking did? Even, let's say they didn't do it. Let's say that it wasn't some plot to kill him, right? Let's be fair here. Let's not go into conspiracy realm. Let's say that it wasn't an organized plot to take him out. Do you still trust this Secret Service to protect him when they didn't do basic fucking things? And the whole reason that that Kimberly chick was fucking put in as the director was as a diversity hire, because she promised to make 30% of the Secret Service minorities or women. Especially women is what she was focusing on, because she's a chick. So they bring all these fucking chicks in who can't physically do the fucking job. They're not big enough. They're not strong enough. Has nothing to do with their courage. It has to do with their fucking size and their strength. You got to be big enough to shield the man. You got to be strong enough to carry the man. Can't do either one. Do you trust them people to protect him when they can't even secure the optimum sniper's position? They can't even do something as simple as blocking line of sight. Why are you relying on the fucking police department of a tiny little town to secure your fucking perimeter? There should be Secret Service out there that are specially trained to do that job. Why was there no communication? Why did nobody call on the walkie-talkie or the radio or the phone or anything? Why didn't anybody? We all have cell phones now. If me and Andy go hunting and I'm up in my tree stand and I know he's over there 200 or 300 yards, and I see a fucking mountain lion walking down that way, I'm going to get on the phone. I'm at least going to send him a text. Say, hey, motherfucker, big ass mountain lion coming your way. You might want to get ready. If you're ready, you can shoot the motherfucker. He won't hurt you. You ain't ready, he might have your ass for lunch. I'm going to let him know something. Why did nobody call? You telling me they're chasing a threat around, they lose him, they can't find the motherfucker, they know the roof is unsecured? Nobody thinks to call and say, hey, guys, with Trump, we got a situation here. We can't find this motherfucker. He's a threat. He's running around here somewhere. We don't know where the fuck he is. Maybe you don't put Trump up on a stage? Nobody makes that call? Bullshit. You trust these fucking people. I don't. I don't trust them at all. I'm telling you one thing, if I was at that fucking rally, everybody always says this too, and I want to preface this, because everybody always gives you that story. If I was there, I'd fucking do this, this, or this. But I'm going to tell you this much. If I was fucking there, I wouldn't have ran back down that ladder. I promise you that. I probably would have got my big ass shot. But you shoot me, at that point, once that first gunshot goes off, they're going to get Trump off that fucking stage. That man's not going to get shot. This guy was a police officer. His fucking job was to help the Secret Service protect Trump. Why didn't he do something? Yeah, I know the dude turned and pointed the fucking rifle at him. So what? If you're going to run down the ladder like a little bitch and not do your fucking job, at least pull your fucking service weapon out and fire a couple shots in the air or something. That'll get Trump off that fucking stage. If you would have, as soon as you got down that ladder, if you'd have pulled your weapon and fired, it took 4 seconds. 4 seconds for the agents surrounding that stage to dogpile him. 4 seconds. You telling me that guy on that roof could have been pointing at you, turned around, got in position, got set, sighted him in, and fired in 4 seconds? No. Trump would not have gotten shot if you'd have done your fucking job. Trump would not have got shot if the Secret Service would have been there and done their fucking jobs of securing that site, securing that roof, getting rid of line of sight, having a fucking drone in the air. Too many things, man. Too many things for me to say it's a coincidence. Too many things for me to say that this was just a blunder. This wasn't a blunder. This was like watching an NBA game and Kobe Bryant steps out on the court, or Kobe dead now. Let's say LeBron James. Is he still playing? Okay, who gives a fuck? Michael Jordan. Because the Secret Service is supposed to be the elite, right? So let's say Michael Jordan gets out on the fucking court. They start the game, and instead of dribbling down and shooting, he tucks the ball up underneath his arm and starts running like he's playing football. And the referee goes, hey, what the fuck are you doing? The very first thing you know about basketball is you're not allowed to fucking run around with the ball. You got to dribble the son of a bitch. That's how big of a fuck up this is. The very first thing you need to do is secure the high ground, take out line of sight. The first fucking thing. You do that shit before Trump ever gets there. You do that shit days and days and days in advance. Before anybody gets there. You have a plan. See, they're acting like they just show up. Like the Secret Service just shows up during the day and says, okay, what are we going to do here? Trump's going to be here in 5 minutes. Let's figure out how we want to secure this place. They know months in advance where he's going to be. They have a plan drawn up. They have all this shit worked out. This was not a spur-of-the-moment fuck-up, guys. This was a detailed plan that left out very important stuff to protect Trump. And there's no fucking denying that. I don't give a shit how many people are going to say I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever the fuck they're going to say about me. You cannot deny that. Those simple things were never done. And they're always done, every single time. That's like dribbling a basketball. It's that fucking basic. And they didn't do them. So if you're going to tell me it's incompetence, it's got to be incompetence at a level we've never fucking ever seen before. It's got to be wearing a helmet, little arm floaties drooling down your fucking face, incompetent. Okay, that level of incompetence. It's got to be shitting in your pants incompetence to fuck up that bad. I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. Trump's not safe. Trump's especially not safe because he's not going to hunker down. He's going to keep doing events. He's at the fucking RNC probably right now. He's going to keep doing shit because he's going to make sure they know that you're not going to punk me down. I'm a man. He ain't no pussy. He's not going to cower in his basement. Do you trust these people to keep him alive? If something else happens, know who the fuck did it. One time you might be able to fool some people into thinking it's just a coincidence. If this shit happens again, and it probably will, because like I said, dude, he's going to win by like 30 points now. He's going to get like 400 electoral votes. It's going to be the biggest landslide in history. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody's seen it. You got Democrats coming out cheering for Trump now. It's crazy. So do you think they're just going to stop and say, oh, well, you know, we went to all this level to try to protect ourselves, but fuck it. I guess he's just going to win now and we're all going to go to jail. I doubt it. They're not going to stop. We got to get Trump to the election. We got to keep him alive somehow. I don't know how that is. And that's what worries me. What are these fucking people capable of? You got all kinds of chatter out there. You got chatter about nuclear war. You got chatter about fucking power grid going down. What have they done in the past? Ask yourself that question. What do they do every 4 years? Some kind of crime against black people. Some fucked up shit they do to blacks. And they always blame a white Trump supporter or a white Republican. They say, yeah, it's a fucking white Republican did it. They hate black people. And then you get Black Lives Matter out chanting bullshit and burning shit down and acting like assholes. Every fucking 4 years it happens. What do they do when they want to try to get rid of guns? There's just conveniently some mass event that happens, isn't there, every time? What are they capable of? What are they going to do? If they do what they did in the past, then we can look forward to the same bullshit again. They're going to try to take Trump out again. They're probably going to do some kind of attacks against black people. Black churches, black areas, something like that. It can't be just one guy getting shot and then they tell bullshit about it like they always do. It's got to be bigger because they need people to believe. They need black people to believe that the Trump supporters hate them and they want them dead because the black vote's going overwhelmingly to Trump. Not like overwhelmingly as far as like over 50% of the black vote. I'm talking like way more than a Republican normally gets. Way more than the Democrats can afford to lose and have any hope of winning. Like double to triple what a Republican normally gets. And that was before he got shot. So imagine what it's going to be now. They got to do something. Now, will that happen? Depends. Depends on if they got the balls to do it. Thing I would tell you is, at this point, what the fuck they got to lose? They're going to lose the election if he's alive. They're going to try something. That's all I'm saying. Now, what that something is, time will tell. But what I'm telling everybody watching and listening, if they try it again, know who's doing it. Don't be fooled. If you start seeing attacks on black churches, attacks on black neighborhoods, that kind of bullshit, and they try to blame Trump supporters, just remember, I've already told you they're going to do this shit. It's not us. It's some bullshit they cooked up. Just like Jesse Smollett. Remember that motherfucker? Well, Trump supporters, they put a noose around my neck and try to do some butt stuff with me. Whatever the fuck he said, that idiot. They do it every fucking time. All they do is lie. You've seen it for years. Every fucking thing they've said has been a lie. Just keep that shit in mind. And the reason I'm saying this, the reason I'm going this deep with you motherfuckers right now, is we're on a razor's edge here, baby. This isn't anymore where you can say some bullshit and it'll be okay. So people might get butthurt and it'll be okay. Shit got real. When they try to take out Trump, shit got real. We are closer, in my humble opinion, we are closer to a civil war than we have ever been in my lifetime. So I want everybody to understand and realize that if some bullshit happens like that to try to push us closer to that, just realize it's bullshit. Understand who's doing it and why. Okay? Because the last thing we fucking need is for them to do some dumb shit like that. And then we got a fucking race war happening or we got a civil war happening. We don't need that bullshit. We got to all fucking, as we the people, we got to come the fuck together. It should be clearer to you than it ever has been before in history that the fucking deep state is real and they're after us. They fucking hate you. Even if you're on your side, you know what they call you? All you liberal Democrats out there, you know what you're referred to as by these people? They call you useful idiots. That's what they call you. You are the dumb fucks that are going to be the foot soldiers to go out and do the dumb shit they want you to do, but you're not going to get to share in the reward because they will eliminate you before that happens. Understand that. If you don't fucking believe me, look it up. Do your research. Do your research on communism. It's the same thing. That's what these people are. That's what they always do. It's a playbook that they have followed over and over and over again throughout history. And it's very easy to see. All right, I have talked for a long time. And I had said some stuff that I'm sure old boy is probably pissing his britches about. So what I want to do is I want to throw over to probably old boy, let him have a chance to say something about it. And let him kind of try to comment or do whatever the fuck he wants to do. But you know where I stand. I've said my piece, and I will mute this shit and let somebody else talk and figure out what their piece is.
Actually, was less than I thought. Let's get this straight right now, okay? I want people to listen to this because I'm not on the Republican or Democrat side. A civil war is the worst thing that we can have right now. And I'm going to tell you why. It hasn't nothing to do with what goes on with us. Other countries are watching what we're doing right now. And it's even in the news. We are prime for an attack from another country. What you didn't forget to say is Iran now they're saying had plots of killing Trump 3 weeks ago. Why are they talking about it 3 weeks later? It's already in the news. It's already been talked about. Why wasn't anything said in the first place? Now it's fucking 3 weeks later. And just so you know, today somebody did try something outside of the convention and was killed. It was a lady or something, but they never got inside the convention. It was on Fox. They were talking about it. They had police everywhere. Trump has a new team now. He got rid of that team. He has a new team altogether now of Secret Service he's paying for. And he did get Robert Kennedy is now getting Secret Service because he said something, and Biden's administration finally signed over to get him because he should have anyway because both of his uncle and his dad were killed. This has happened so many times. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but you knew somebody was going to go after Trump eventually. I'm not happy about it. Don't get me wrong, but we knew this was coming one day. Um, People didn't want it is kind of convenience that this happened. And again, Pennsylvania, fuck, you becoming a wonderful state there I'm from. It just had to be my state. Um, but what I think happened is the Secret Service, again, like you were saying, that they thought this was the kind of like a small town. Nothing's going to happen like that. They didn't give a fuck. And I think they didn't take it serious. And I have a difference of opinion on women being. I have no problem with them at all. I don't give a fuck. I worked with people who are cops or women, but I get what James is saying. But I don't think that's the problem. I think what it is that the lady fucked up who runs the whole fucking show, and she did admit she fucked up, and she didn't care. The way she should be gone. That's just my opinion. And this isn't coming all. He's agreeing with James. I'm not a Republican. I have a lot to say about Republicans right now, especially what James said earlier about the Biden thing and the Target thing, because they had Joe Biden 3 days ago on TV on NBC about that. He apologized. He explained it. And I know he was what he meant too. And I get it. People are, again, conspiracy theories. The problem is there's people who actually believe that Biden said the Target thing and meant it. And that's, and now they're saying it. Biden, they just said the FBI is telling Biden, Kennedy, and Trump to be very careful because they think there's going to be retaliation, and there's possibility on that. And I hope it doesn't happen. Trust me, listen to this right now. I'm not a big fan of Biden. I don't want nothing to happen to him. It's not good for our country anyway. No one getting assassinated was ever good for this country. Any of our presidents. I don't care if you like him or you don't like him. Killing him is not right. Any kind of person, Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy, J.F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln. They tried Trump, Ronald Reagan. Um, who else was Bob Marley was assassinated, or is yeah, I think there's other people have, but I'm just showing you the examples. This isn't the first time this happened. They should have known better. They didn't have anybody on the roof, what makes no sense. This crack police department knew he was there, running around looking for him. Didn't call they didn't call the Secret Service and tell them what was going on. And you're right, the cop shouldn't have ran, because if the cop would have got, I don't want the cop to die, but if he would have shot, they would have heard the shots. And let's not just say about Trump, because somebody died and 2 other people are in the hospital right now. Let's not forget about that. Let's quit just talking about Trump, because somebody died because of somebody's fanatic bullshit they believe in. And now somebody's passed away. It wasn't just Trump got shot, somebody died, and the fire person guy was just there protecting people. He got killed. 2 other people, I don't know. They were supporters. They got shot, and they didn't have a right to get shot either. And this is what's bullshit. People have died now, or a person, because a guy got killed too. It shot him over people's politics. The point is, when you're letting your politics get to the point where they're controlling every fucking thing you're doing, go talk to somebody. I don't care what you believe. It's not like that. I get it. I'm just trying to help people who are thinking anything stupid right now, because I know there is. And I want this to be known. Don't do it. Trust me. It's not worth it. 2 old men are not worth your time, your life. I get it. You're mad as hell. Trump got shot. You want revenge? No, don't, because that's what they want. And anybody on the other side, don't go try to redo it. Don't. Oh, no. I'm telling you, there's no good it's going to come to anybody taking a shot at any of these presidents, any vice presidents. Don't do it, because it's not going to end. It's not going to end well. We're going to be in like James said. We are very. I will agree with James on the Civil War. We're very close. That's happened. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to happen. And what I'm worried about, while we're fighting a civil war, Russia and China are going to come in. And that's not a conspiracy theory, that could happen. Russia right now is in Cuba, right by us. China, like I said, you can't ever trust them. You can't. I'm not saying that they're horrible people, but they will not cry if America goes on. The only thing about China is they're kind of in a predicament because they have a lot of money in the United States, and they make more money in the United States than they do with Russia. And that's the only reason why China's kind of like trying, we can't have anybody, because they know what the outcome is. Nuclear war heads get shot, both sides, we're all gone. Maybe the 1% will survive because they've been building bases for years, because Jesse Ventura, who used to be in the government, went and told on him, and they took him off his show. As soon as he showed those places underground, he was done. And he said it. I don't, I'm not the, Jesse Ventura, we all know he's an asshole sometimes, but I do believe some of the shit he was saying. And this is coming from me, old boy, the pagan Satanist, independent voter, who I'm seeing what's going on, and it's sad. It's sad that so many people I have never seen in my lifetime, people trying to kill each other over parties. It's red or blue. It doesn't matter what if you don't right now people are attacking us. We're not voting for their, even if we're not going to vote a certain way. Robert Kennedy is people have a problem with him because he's going to take votes from both sides. But the problem is that's all right. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. I'm going to vote for who the fuck I want. And you don't like it, go get a bag of dicks and eat them. I don't care. I'm not going to vote for somebody I don't want to vote for. I don't care if you fucking. I'll put Mickey Mouse is going to vote. I don't care. That's my fucking right. You believe in the Constitution and fucking follow it then. Quit crying about, I'm going all together because I hear this shit. I'm not saying James doesn't say shit. It's not who I'm going by. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. And don't sit there, I'm the problem. Fuck you. I don't have to vote. I don't give a fuck what you think. Suck a dick. You think I care? I may vote. The only reason I'm going to vote this year because of the house taxes. I do agree with that. The fucking California is out fucking outrageous. $3,200 for a fucking house? No way, dude. When it was 10 years ago, literally $1,200, I could have got a fucking house. And the only reason I'm paying 13 for my house because I've been here for 7 years. And before all this shit started, and we can't even afford to fucking buy a bag of fucking beans because some asshole keeps fucking raising up the taxes and says California's 20% of jobs. And then they fucking, they hire you for 6 hours a week because they made minimum wage $20 fucking and no one can fucking live. They're not going to pay you. You know what they're doing? They're fucking replacing people with fucking machines. The only reason they haven't totally done it because people backlashed here and threatened to take them in the voting. Now they're changing it and getting people back. But the point is, they're only working them. Okay, you're making $20 now. You're working $10, and instead of 20 hours a week, you're working 15. So you're making the same fucking money, dumbasses. That's what they were gonna fucking do. And I told people, but let's do the 32 hours a week. What do you think you're going to lose? 8 hours work? No, we'll make them pay the same thing and make 32 hours over. After that is overtime. You know what they're going to do? You're going to work at 30 hours a week and that's it, dickheads. And they're not going to pay you fucking insurance. That's what everybody does. No one wants to work. No, they want to. And I'm sorry, I get it. You don't want to. I get you. No one wants to work 50, 60 hours. That sucks. 40 hours isn't shit. I work 40 something hours every week. I don't give a fuck about 40 hours. I could do 50 hours. I don't care. I see my old lady. My old lady works 40 hours and drives up and down the fucking hill. So she's really working 50 hours. It doesn't matter. And what I mean driving up the hill is my wife works 80 hours a week. 80 miles away. So what she's done is she doesn't do that all the time. She only drives 3 times a week now. She used to do this every day. My wife is a fucking soldier. She went to college for 3 different fucking things. She speaks 3 different languages. She can cook like a motherfucker. She learned how to do nails on YouTube. She fucking goes up and down the hill. She was from El Salvador, came from a fucked up third world country. I'm not making fun of where wars her and her family left. And my wife is a very tough fucking woman. That's why I married her, because I'm a fucking asshole. I'll tell you fucking straight up, I'm an asshole. And it's hard to deal with me. I have a fucked up I have a lot of fucked up things that's happened to me. And it scarred me. I'll never be the same, guys. I'll tell you that. Just like war, I'll never be the same. I'm not the same person when James met me. I've changed a lot because I've gone through so much hell in my life. I can tell you, I don't like people touching me, and if there's a reason for that. And it's nothing against people. I don't know you. Don't fucking touch me. Do you trust me on that? I trust me on this. It'll be bad for you. And I have a lot of rage. PTSD, I have it. And when you just don't fuck with people like that. And I go fucking berserk, dude. Like I am a Viking, dude. If I want to die on my shield, sitting at home and dying at old age. I don't want that. I want to die on my shield. That's just how I am. I know James is the same way. You don't want to fucking die playing video games. If it was up to me, I'd be out in the fucking middle because we do Staring in the Abyss and Tells the Abyss and Vapor and Shadow's Pit. It was up to me that whatever they have the Jackal, the Jackass, whatever the fuck's out there in West Virginia. I want if that was thing, I wouldn't want to fight that fucking. They'd probably kill me. But you know what? I'd rather go out on my shield because I'm not a pussy. And people don't believe that. I'll tell you a story. My friend was in high school. About 10 people came up to me. They wanted to fight me. I threw my jacket on. Come on, motherfucker, let's go. My other friends jumped up. There's 3 of them. And then my friend Tom was across the way. He's waving at him because they didn't know he was over there waiting for him. But it was probably about 10, 15 of them, about 4 or 5 of us. I was ready to fucking go. I'm nuts, dude. Like I said, I've been shot at. I've been stabbed. I've been fucking threatened to be killed. You know, beaten up all the time. You know, you kind of lose it. I go into haunted places that most people won't deal with. I deal with crazy shit that doesn't even people wouldn't even fathom what I deal with. It doesn't bother me. But what I'm trying to tell you guys, get back to the point. Do not do anything over something you don't know. I understand people study whatever. It's not worth it. This fucking 20-year-old kid wasted his life because he let something get insanely crazy in his head, thinking the world was going to be a better place to do it. If he would have killed Trump, yeah, the Democrats would have been. You know what it would have started? There was going to be something would have started. There's people. I hate to say it. There's people, James, that are waiting for the Civil War, and they shouldn't. They're just waiting to get a chance to do this, and they've been talking about it for, like you said, it's people who've never seen war who are just sitting here waiting to get a shot. They're not going to do anything. They're going to wait till somebody does something, then they're going to jump on the bandwagon like everybody does. And I don't want that. I don't want another war. We've had many wars in this country, and we don't need any more. We're in a war right now and overseas. We've been. It doesn't matter if we're in it or not. We're giving people weapons. We are still in the Middle East. We still are doing shit over there. The point is, we don't need a civil war in our own country. We had that in the 1800s with the South and the North. You know, the sad thing is, a lot of innocent people died for a lot of dumb people's fucking beliefs and people to get rich. You know what the real truth is? The rich are going to get richer, and it doesn't matter. You know what's going to happen? We're going to suffer like we always do. Just like Guns N' Roses, Civil War, that song, the rich keep getting richer and poor just die because that's what's going to keep happening. And they don't care. Either side, they don't care. They don't care. You're just like collateral damage. And they'll find somebody other else to fucking fool and get you to do something stupid. It's not worth it. I'm trying to tell you both sides. It's not worth it. Let's have an election where, you know what, whatever you want to think. Even then, even if Trump somehow loses, people are not going to believe it. It's going to set it off. Trump wins, people are going to flip out. We already know there's going to be protest over it. There's going to be no good for whatever happens. We know Trump might win, but you do realize there's going to be protests. There's going to be a lot of shit that happens, both sides of it. So I would think is if you're a rational person, please, if you're gonna look at this show, I get it. Oh, James is a racist and he's a redneck from fucking Virginia. He don't know what he hates he doesn't. That's his opinion. He doesn't hate people. He's just very vocal about what he says, and he's straight to the point. He's smarter than you. Well, and trust me, he is. Except with making pizzas, I can make pizzas probably better than anybody. But I'm just because I like food. And other than but James is very smart. Now, he's very passionate. Sometimes some of the stuff he says, it gets crazy. I am too. Andy, you know, he's very soft-spoken. He gets to the point, and you get what he's saying. You know, I mean, he's a good guy. He's a working man. And that's another guy you got to watch because he works too. We got to watch because his company. Yeah.
Eventually, he gets to the point.
Yeah.
You got to understand, Andy's an old Southern man. His stories and the way he talks, it goes on and on and on.
True, he's a Yankee now. Lives in Pennsylvania, so he ain't a Southern man no more. He can say what he wants, but he's always chasing after Yankee women. So So
You done fucked up now. You don't call a Southerner a Yankee, boy. You you in for it, son.
hey, it, just call it how I see it. But I left Pennsylvania. I live in California, but hey, I had no choice. I got forced here when I was a kid. And in the 80s, California was wonderful. It's a great ass place to live. Not no more. Not too much. But I'm kidding. Andy's a good guy. He talks and he's a very soft spoken guy and he's a working guy. And he has an opinion on Trump. He's not a big Trump. He likes to point, but he also has the opinion on some of the shit Trump says, and I do too. That it's just the point is somebody tried to kill him. And even if somebody tried to kill Biden, I would be pissed off too because it's ridiculous. We don't have to go that route. It's called voting. It's called vote for who you don't want in and vote for who you want in. Killing somebody isn't going to solve you. What do you think that's going to? That's just going to cause a fucking, like you said, it would have caused a civil war. Either way, whatever would have happened, it wouldn't go right. Revenge isn't going to make anything better. It's just going to make it worse. Like James says, they're going and then they'll use it against us. Or the Second Amendment. First thing was saying, oh, look, it's the AR-15. Fuck that people died. Let's use the AR-15 again. And then what? Again, like always. Look, I understand there is some people who are running around with guns and they're showing on video 30 round, 100 round clips. And most of these people are not allowed to have guns and they're felons. They're not supposed to, and they still get them. There's 500 million guns in this country. I don't care what they tell you. And there's more than that. I think it's like 600 to 700 million. I know people are never going to get rid of these guns. Yeah, you might ban them just like criminals can't. This is what, do you think the criminals, gangs, and cartels are going to hand over their guns? They're not. Fucking get reality, dude. I'm not giving my guns up. I'm never going, then I'm a criminal. Because I don't care. I don't give a fuck. That's not what it says. Now, if they vote, see, this is true. If we all voted the right way in the Constitution and they actually did it the right way and not made a law, what's illegal is that if you vote in 3/4 of the Congress and they pass it, then that's a different story. But it's never going to happen. The only way they're going to do it is some bullshit fucking bill. It's never going to pass. The Supreme Court will never let it go through. You can make any law you want. It will get fought. Just like California just lost again. Now, I know they made a bunch of laws right now. It's going to go back to court and get thrown out. The 11% on a gun, 11% on taxes, but they can do that. They can make as much tax as they want on guns. There's nothing you can do about that. People got to realize you can't stop taxes. You can stop them from getting your guns taken away, but you can't stop them from taxing you. That's one way they're going to fuck us, and that's what they're doing, 11%.
One point I want to bring up that I think would be good for discussion as well is the Democrats' rhetoric over the last 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years almost, about Trump has led us to this point. I mean, if you want to put some blame around there, I think a good slice of that pie can go to all these dipshit Democrats who are constantly running their fucking mouths saying Trump is Hitler, Trump is this, Trump is that. All this rhetoric about taking drink. How many times have we seen that compilation of Maxine Waters saying she'll take Trump out herself, get in their faces, don't let them be comfortable in public, attack them, hurt them. All these fucking actors. Johnny Depp talking about assassinating the president. Madonna talking about blowing up the White House. Kathy Griffin's retarded ass holding up the fake Trump head all bloody. You guys remember that bullshit? Every night on CNN, MSNBC, every fucking night, all they do, Trump's a Nazi. Trump is Hitler. Trump is a devil. He's going to be a dictator. He wants to take your rights away. He wants to, all this bullshit. Ain't none of it true. Even though it's been disproven completely, they keep saying the same shit. And the problem is the majority of these Democrat voters are fucking dumb. That's just the truth. I'm sorry. It is the fucking truth. There's some people that are Democrat voters who are old school Democrats, right? They are the party of Kennedy. They still believe in the ideals then, right? They're not who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the older people that grew up with John F. Kennedy and they're that kind of Democrat. That's not who I'm talking about here. They just have a difference of opinion. That's fine. They're not stupid. I'm talking about these young Democrats that are dumber than fuck, that don't know anything, who are out there protesting, wanting socialism and communism. I mean, Bernie Sanders calls himself a Democrat socialist. He is espousing socialist and communist principles. There are communists that have actually gotten elected as Democrats. The mayor of New York City, for example, is a fucking communist. He says it himself that he's a communist. These people that vote for that bullshit and that want that bullshit are fucking stupid. Because they've never read history. They don't know what the fuck communism is. They don't know what socialism is. They don't understand that it always ends the exact same way, with millions and millions of dead poor people every fucking time. You see these dipshits walking around with the Che Guevara shirts. You ever see that? They don't even know who the fuck Che Guevara was. They think he's some kind of revolutionary hero. He was a piece of shit that murdered innocent women and children. He was a piece of human fucking filth. But they act like he's some god or something, because they're dumber than fuck. They walk around with shirts with Mao on it. That motherfucker killed millions of people. This is who I'm talking about. These dipshits in Antifa and BLM that go around burning down their own fucking city. What kind of stupid bullshit is that? You're mad at some imaginary bullshit that the fucking news said that's lying to you. So let me burn down my own fucking neighborhood. Where old Gus over there, the 60-year-old black man who worked his entire fucking life in order to afford something, and he finally got his dream. He bought the little corner store. And he's proud of that shit. He worked that shit most of his life, man. He's going to be able to pass that down to his children. What do you fucking dumbasses do? You break his fucking windows out and burn the place to the ground. You go in there and you steal everything before you burn it. You bankrupt the son of a bitch. What did he ever fucking do to you? Nothing. Gus, a good old boy. He didn't do nothing to nobody. He's just trying to live his fucking life and give his kids a better life than he had. But you dipshits are out there protesting and burning shit down and hurting people. Over what? Those are the people I'm fucking talking about. They're just dumber than shit. That's the fucking problem. You know, I mean, but they keep voting the same fucking way. There's no getting through to some of them. So even if you tell them, even if you lay it out and you say, look, guys, this is exactly what it is, and you prove it, doesn't matter. It's their fucking bullshit, their rhetoric that's got us here. The reason why people are so crazy and pissed off and wanting to take a shot at Trump is because you've been telling them for fucking 7 years that he's the fucking Antichrist. That he's going to put them in fucking camps. That he's going to take their fucking rights away. That he's going to be a dictator. None of that shit is true. You know how we know it's not true? Because he was already fucking president once. Did he do any of that shit? No. The country was fucking amazing. Best economy in history. Your life was pretty fucking good. So what makes you think all of a sudden this time he's going to be a dictator? Are you that fucking stupid? Some of you are. And once again, you can get mad at me all you want. Doesn't change that simple fact. That if after all of this, after the Russian collusion bullshit, after the pissing on hookers in Russia bullshit, after the Stormy Daniels bullshit, after the Ukraine phone call bullshit, impeachment 1, impeachment 2, all the court cases, all that bullshit that's been proven to be 100% false, all of it. After all that shit, if you still fucking believe this nonsense about Trump, when you know that they've lied to you that many fucking times, you're a fucking moron. And you probably shouldn't breathe, because we don't need more of you. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's the rhetoric that got us here. It's these fucking assholes running their mouth constantly that got us here. It's anytime you fucking disagree with somebody, they call you a racist. That's what's got us here. It's all you little fucking bitch boys running your fucking mouth all the time about shit you don't understand. Trump's a fucking racist. You're a fucking racist. You're fucking stupid. You don't know anything. Shut up. Half of your balls ain't even dropped yet. You ain't got no knowledge. You ain't got no fucking wisdom. You're some little blue-haired dickhead. Shut up. You don't have an informed opinion. You are spouting nonsense. You are spouting fucking hate. But notice, they spent the last 7 years calling this man Hitler, saying he's a dictator, saying all this horrible shit about him, telling people to take a shot at him, telling people to take him out. Over and over and over again, they've said it. Now they're calling for unity. Now they're calling for peace. Because they missed. Even though they made a good shot, Trump turned his head and they didn't get the job done. People are pissed off. Now they're like, oops. We just need to calm things down. Yeah, I would say that too. If I walked up to the biggest, baddest motherfucker in the bar and I bitch slapped him and I was only 3 foot tall and couldn't fight, thinking I was going to knock him out, but I bitch slapped him and he just laughed at me and said, my fucking turn, I believe I'd call for peace and unity too. You pissed off a giant. You're going to pay the price for that. Now, God willing, and hopefully, that price will be paid at the ballot box. And your bitch asses will lose. Trump will get back in office. The country will get back on track. We can all get back to making money and living good lives and being happy. Wouldn't that be nice? But you fucking people will never be happy. Because you're against success. You're against the country doing well. You're against capitalism. It makes no fucking sense to me. It's fucking dumb. So I'm going to throw over to Andy because he hasn't even got to speak in his entire fucking show, which is crazy. Which, not really that crazy because I got a big fucking mouth and old boy talks forever and then he kind of loses his track and just keeps on going in a completely different direction. But I'm going to let old boy sit there and watch Andy talk for a change because this motherfucker's going to do the whole show without saying a word. We're like, I don't know how long we're in because we talked a little bit before, but pretty far. So Andy, go ahead, brother.
About 45 minutes.
Well, 45 minutes, bullshit. Thing. I agree with you, James, on a lot of stuff. I do. Part of the problem is that these people that want to be communists and stuff like that and think that that's the better way to go, it's because of the school system and taking the real history out of it. And you know, you guys both know that I work in Gettysburg and I work in the history and paranormal part of Gettysburg, or that's what, and you would not believe the people that come in there, the ages that you're talking about, James, that literally don't know half of the history of Gettysburg. All they know is that, you know, Johnny Reb got his ass kicked here in Gettysburg and all these fuckers died, and that's what it's about, you know. And we start telling them about some of the horrible stories, you know, about how some of these people were treated, and well, not really treated, but how these people were, you know, the medical part of it and just the nastiness. And, you know, once they see, you know, Pickett's charge, they see the field and they see what these guys were up against and stuff, they have a whole different, well, they didn't tell me that in school. You know what I'm saying? Well, they didn't tell me that in school. I've heard that, I know, at least probably 100 times in the last 2 years. And that's the thing, man. They just are dividing us. Division. And if people would even pay attention and use a little bit of logic, they would realize that the reason why they're dividing us is because it's easier to fucking control us when we're divided. And that's what they're trying to do. And they think back right around the Obama start, every single fucking person, human being, anything that they could use against us to divide us. It started out with gay versus straight. It started, and then it was postal workers, if you remember that. Then it was police. Then it was men against women. Then it was, Hispanics against Americans, and, and now it's trans, and now it's Democrats versus Republicans and stuff like that. It's getting ridiculous, like this Project 2025 or whatever. I literally had this conversation with a woman who told me this Project 2025 is going to take away, all this from women and stuff. And then I said, it's something they're using. Even Trump and Biden both said they never even heard about this Project 2025. So it would never get passed, man, some of the stupid shit that they're saying it is. But this woman said it's already happening. Some states have already taken women's health care away from them. Do you really fucking believe that they have taken away your health care? Like, oh, you're a woman, you can't go in and see the fucking dentist, or you can't go in for a cold, and, shit like that. I think what she meant was some of these fly-by-night, places that were, only there to abort. That's what they're talking about. And I said that, and she's like, no, they've been taking women's health care. These fuckers believe that shit, man. That's why they pulled what they did in Pennsylvania up here. Because they know that stupid fucking people are going to believe this shit. Because they sit in front of their televisions all day long, or on their phones, or whatever they have to listen or to watch, and they just feed them, man. It's the extension of the government, the media. But the thing is, man, I watched, dude, it's so fucking right in your face that this was planned. This was something that obviously was meant to happen, because you have multiple people with their fucking cameras, man, their phones, filming this dude crawling, and they're literally probably, I don't know, 25 yards from him. I mean, they're standing on the ground enough to look up and see him on this roof. He's got a gun. They're all saying it. He's got a gun. They're all filming him. And you're telling me, and as they're saying this, you're seeing these cops walk by, and they're like pointing, and they're screaming at the cop, and they're pointing, and, stuff like that. And you can't tell me, man, I have family that are in Secret Service. And I can tell you that being around them and the training they've had, I used to go out hunting with a couple different ones of them. And even when they're out there hunting, that training, they're so alert that shit just doesn't, like they would say, look at that squirrel over there. And I'd look over and the motherfucker's like 300 yards away. But they're trained to see little bitty movements and stuff like that. But the thing comes down to it is, you look at it like this. The kid pulls up. He has a gun. He has a ladder. They start chasing him. He goes into the warehouse, man, that supposedly was full of cops. So how in the fuck did he keep away from them? You know what I'm saying? How did they not, out of all these cops that they had there, not see this kid running around? I mean, you guys go pick a ladder up, a fucking ladder as big as he had, and go running around with it, and tell me how fast you can go. And if you're not banging into everything, if you're getting away from them, you're lucky, because, but you're banging in, the ass end of it's hitting shit, the front end's hitting shit, everything else. And then on top of it, I mean, he had a gun.
Yeah, the rifle. Don't forget that. And the scope. Think about this, Andy, real quick, and then I'll leave you alone.
No.
Ladder, great point you made. Just made me think of this. Ladder, one hand. Rifle, other hand. The optic on your rifle is what you're using to target. Being a hunter just like me, if you hit that on something, you even barely bang it, it's fucking off now. You're not going to be a good shot. How did he carry that fucking weapon, even if it's in a case? How did he carry it in one arm, ladder in the other arm, running away from cops, and not fuck up his optic?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. There's no way, man, that it's almost impossible. Then on top of that, I mean, I'm just saying, man, the video alone I could not believe how close those people were to this kid crawling on that roof. I mean, I'm literally saying it couldn't have been no more than 25 or 30 yards. And multiple people and other people that wasn't filming are yelling as well. So there's a ton of people yelling. You know, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. Now you cannot tell me that the snipers where they were at didn't even hear these people yelling like that. Now I can imagine if they had the music playing as loud as they do and stuff like that, I guess probably there's a probability that, you know, they didn't hear them off in a distance, but you see these cops looking at them, and obviously that cop that went up the ladder went up there because he knew something was up. He just wasn't going up there to check the roof, you know what I'm saying? Or even if he was, you cannot tell me, I don't know what the length of time was between the time he seen the kid with the gun and by the time he crawled back down, but that man had to have a weapon on him too. Why didn't he duck down out of the range, pull his fucking sidearm, and go back up there? You know? And the length of the roof, from what I can see by looking at aerial view, that kid would have been a pretty good distance away from where the ladder was. So how did he even, unless that cop was so damn dumb and boom, boom, hitting shit and making noise and stuff like that, that he even knew he was behind him with all the fucking other shit that he was dead, you know, set on getting up there. It just does not make sense, man. That's even before you start talking about the slim down, you know, Secret Service that they gave him. You know what I'm saying? It's way before even that. It's like, how did this kid ever get to the point? Because I've never heard, and maybe you know, James, I've never heard about how they had things set up as in security coming into the place. So how did he even get into the area? But then I heard, you know, well, they didn't have that big of a perimeter, I guess, is what that comes down to.
They had the magnetometers, the metal detectors
Right.
set up. You had to go through there. It's the same as with every Trump rally. You go up, you wait in line, you get up to the area where you can get in. They have the metal detectors, the magnetometers set up. You walk through those. Secret Service meets you when you walk through. They go through your bags, make sure you don't have anything in your bag you're not supposed to have. They confiscate any items that you're not supposed to have. They can give you a pat down and all that bullshit if they want to. Make sure you're straight, you ain't got nothing, and then you're free to go in if they deem that it's okay for you to go in. So he had to stay outside the perimeter in order to have a weapon, right? But he wasn't inside the crowd when he shot. He was up on that roof. But see, they're pretending like, well, outside that perimeter, it's not our responsibility. That's horseshit. Because like I said, up to a half mile away from the venue, you take every high ground. You take every line of sight. And you absolutely don't leave the optimum high ground with the best line of sight in the area. You don't leave that. There was a water tower not too far away over here. Well, you can't see shit. Here's the roof that the guy was on. Here's Trump speaking. There's a water tower over here too that you can see in some of the aerial photos. Why wasn't there somebody up on that? That's the highest point. That's another thing that they always do. You got to have a sniper team at the highest point so you can cover the whole area. Nobody up there. Why not? The only counter.
Are you telling me that those guys are the most highly trained people out there? Did not see this 20-year-old kid crawling on top of a roof? Because they're not looking, you know, there was two of them up there, maybe more, but there was two snipers that I saw in pictures, and they're looking. So you think one checking down and one checking up. You know what I'm saying? Eye level and up, one from eye level down. It just, none of it makes sense. You know, all this conspiracy theory, those shit of it's staged and stuff they did not stage killing a man like that. You know, that's the sad thing, is this guy died a hero covering his children and his wife, just like old boy said, over fucking politics, man. I understand that people's, you know, their heart and stuff is in what they believe in and stuff like that. But the thing is, something has fucking changed, man. Back when I first remember, my parents and stuff were Democrats. And I remember seeing Chuck Robb and stuff like that and meeting him and, all this shit going on. But the biggest thing was you did not, it was my old man would never tell me who he voted for. Even though he was Democrat and stuff like that, I know that he didn't vote, all the time Democrat, but he thought that was the biggest thing for us to have, was to have the right to vote and not have to tell anybody about it. You know what I'm saying? Was a big thing for him. But you did not see the fucking craziness, man, that it is now, but when it comes to politics. And the thing is, something had to change. And the thing is, if you look back at it, even like Reagan, when he got shot, I was sitting at home, man, sick from school, I think maybe 3rd grade, 4th grade. And I remember watching him come out, and I remember it happening live. And I remember him flashing over, and there's somebody laying, brain splatter is what it was. But there was no real big, like, arguing and shit like it is now that was going on. You know what I'm saying? This is coming down. I mean, I had a Trump sticker on my old car and went through a McDonald's parking lot one time. Went through the drive-through, and the way to go back to work was to circle back around and almost go back like what looked like through the drive-through. And on the way through to go to the drive-through, I had these kids out there that weren't even old enough to fucking vote looking at me. I come back around to leave, and one of them chucks a fucking milkshake at the car. Fuck you, Trump something lover or something like that, And I'm like, and these kids were like not old enough to drive. They were on bicycles and shit. Made me realize then how deep this shit is going. And for somebody to jeopardize their own life and do what they're doing, they must think that they're going to become a martyr or something. I don't know what it is, but it seems like every single assassination that's out there, some poor person gets killed, and then you have the assassin usually gets killed. And most of the time that assassin, almost every single assassination that I can remember reading about or studying in history outside of Lincoln, that guy was straight up. He did it. He went on and there he went. But anything after, like Kennedy, all of them have some kind of tie back to where they were getting, just like Bob Marley, Martin Luther King, man, these were people that were making huge differences in the world, or in our country at least. Marley was, talking peace and stuff like that, and he was really, banding people together, just like Martin Luther King Jr. People were starting to follow him and listen, of all color. He was going against the grid and trying to make it a better country to live in. What exactly was JFK getting ready to do? JFK was getting ready to blow it all up, man, and throw it out. He was getting ready to show that it was not right, the shit that that FBI and the deep state was doing, and he was going to blow it. So what they do? They take him out. So now you have Trump, who is doing practically almost the same fucking thing. They're trying to take him out. That is, now who is trying to take him out? We could sit here all day and blame, the old man, or we could blame, George Soros or any of the people out there and stuff like that, or other world leaders, who knows? But it comes down to the simple fact is, why are we so against somebody that proved already for 4 years that even with COVID, man, we still was not that bad until it got really deep into COVID. And how do we not know that that wasn't a fucking setup for the whole situation? Now they're starting to talk about it. You know, they're losing. They're trying so many, just like you said, James, so bad to a point that they actually had to try to kill the guy to keep from having him win. And then on top of that, this is how fucking stupid they think people are. I read in the Washington Post the other day online that they said, I seen the thing, Biden, or it said Trump nervous because of Kamala. And I was like, the fuck are they talking about? Literally, they're trying to say that she is now points ahead of fucking Trump. Like they're gonna, and I'm like, people are fucking making fun of her. Even her own fucking, you know, even the own party is making fun of her. You don't see her, man. Tell me, out of every vice president that's ever been vice president, if she is not the only one that you haven't heard hardly jack shit out of. Like it used to always, you hear more about Jill Biden than you do our vice president. Pence, you heard more about him. You hear her not going, you don't hear shit about her. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that she was just a plant. She was just because female. They wanted her. They are dumbing down people, man. They're just, you know, and this is what they're trying to pull now with the whole fucking assassination attempt. They're going to fucking put out there what they think happened, and people are going to fucking believe it. Just same way Republicans, some of the dumbasses are out there fucking talking shit, man. You know, saying, oh, it was this person, it was that person. They have no fucking clue, man, who it was. Some of them are probably pretty close. But the thing is, until we, you know, see them trying to hide shit, or, you know, and I'm talking about in a whole, not, obviously, Secret Service is acting like they're dumb as shit, but, you know, until we deliberately see them, you know, trying to dumb it down even more, you know, you can't really say what it was. But what I can say is I work with some people that are fucking diehard against Trump, and they were even pissed off about this, about the assassination, because they knew what was going to happen if they would have killed him. There is no way to get out of civil war, man. It would have happened. It would have been fucking nuts. And Jane and old boy's exactly right. That would have opened up the fucking opportunity for other countries, man. If we're fighting ourselves and shit, then all of a sudden, man, what can they do? You know, we're killing our fucking selves. Shit, they could save some money and fucking not, you know, send any troops over here. But the whole thing comes down to it is, man, is I think that any motherfucker out there that speaks on social media or anywhere, man, that says too bad he missed should be, they should be fucking arrested or fined or something, man, because I'm looking and people are putting these things up on their social media sites, and it's scary, man, because I've done seen one was a guy that, you know, he was some kind of leader of like a Christian, like camp or something. Then there was a girl that worked at the Harley Davidson not far from up here that said the same shit, and they fucking fired her, probably, you know, finally. There was people in there. I will not go back in there. Then you start seeing the teachers out here. I've seen more teachers, man, that are saying, you know, too bad he missed. Well, I'll tell you what I did, man. So I had a friend of mine that was at, I'm not going to name the bar right now, but he was at a bar in Gettysburg when this shit happened. And he said, when they said the president's been, or that Trump had been shot, they wasn't sure how he was doing. He said he sat there and people literally started fucking cheering and said that the two girls behind the bar were giving high fives to each other. And he fucking got up, man, and along with about a dozen other people, and they fucking walked out, didn't pay their bill, no nothing. And these girls come chasing after him and shit. And he said, I'll come back in when the fucking owner's back here and pay my fucking bill. And told her, here's my phone number. You give it to the fucking owner and shit, and we'll go from there. And there was, man, there's like, these people might get shut down because of that, man. Good, they should. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're taking up for those two dumb bitches. If it would have been Biden, man, that got shot at and hit in the ear, I would feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? That you are, this is what our country's come to, is to wish fucking death on somebody, all because, I mean, old boy's right, you know? These two guys, man, you know, I'm not saying Trump doesn't give a shit. I'm not saying Biden doesn't give a shit. Through their actions, they show what they really care about. But the thing is, man, nobody, I don't want to see any of them fucking dead, man, shot like that. I mean, that's just, you know, they're still God's kids no matter what. And the whole thing comes back to it is that it's a tragedy, man, that these people are still in the hospital. There's a tragedy that a man who was a father, a husband, you know, a fire chief that, you know, obviously put his life on the line to save others is dead now because, you know, this 20-year-old, no, regardless if he was paid to do it, made to do it, or whatever, or just by getting, you know, fucking duped by social media and media itself, people died. And there's no joke about that. You know, people are not, it's like they pass go, man, when it comes to death, and life doesn't mean shit anymore. You know, automatically they go straight from, oh my God, somebody got killed. They go straight from too fucking bad that he missed. Well, he must have not have missed because obviously these people are dead. But what even speaks louder to me, other than the video and Secret Service being fucked up and pretty much lying through the teeth, is the simple fact is, man, that, you know, they shot this, they let him get the shot off, and then they shot him before he could talk. Now, that conspiracy, I fucking do believe, man. I don't, you know, have a whole lot to stand behind it. But yeah, dead man, well, obviously, us being in paranormal, we know that dead men can speak. But the thing is, they got rid of the situation as soon as they possibly could. So was somebody taking an order? Like, I seen the same thing you said about the guy that supposedly was the sniper, you know, said, well, they kept telling me, you know, like they would allow this fucking dude to get up on social media and say that shit. He'd be dead his fucking self, man. But yeah, that's my thing, man. What pisses me off the most is the thought that people have so much animosity and hatred that they wish that that guy wouldn't have, that the kid would not have missed. And that's fucking sad that we've gotten to that, man, over politics. These people work for fucking us, man. And that has been forgotten, I don't know how fucking long ago. But people don't realize the Capitol building is ours. The White House is ours. That is ours. It's not, you know, yeah, you got to protect who's in there and shit. But the thing is, that is, we pay for that shit, man. And we vote these people in. And if these people are not doing the fucking job for us and shit, then fucking don't vote for them and get them the fuck out next time. You know, and it's sad that we're sitting here watching. You know, I actually feel bad for Biden sometimes because he's so fucking just lost and shit. It's almost like the same thing of a nursing home not taking care. It's abuse, man. It's elderly abuse. Obviously, you got Trump, who's way more competent. He proves it through testing. He proves it through everything. He proves it through just fucking what he just did, you know what I'm saying, and went through, you know? Obviously, the other one isn't. And they don't have anybody to replace him. Because all the other ones, man, are so fucking full of hatred and shit that they can't even, the last thing they're worried about, you tell me in 4 fucking years, man, that Biden, in my opinion, all you got to do, you got 4 years that Trump's in office, even with all the bullshit that he had to go through and the attacks, shit still got done. You have Biden, who's been in there 4 years, and pretty much 90% of it's been bitching about Trump. It's like, I think that once you get in office, man, you can't even speak about the last guy. Go do your fucking job, and they're not doing that. But my whole thing is, I agree with you, Hershey. I really think that this was very much something that they knew was going to go down before it happened. And, we just can't point fingers until everything comes back. And hopefully, man, everything that comes back will be heard and they'll actually tell us the truth about it. But they're not going to, because they know, one, they know that would probably start a civil fucking war too. But the thing is, I think if Trump gets in office, that they just cannot, man, they know they can't beat him. That's the problem, man. They know they can't beat him. They know people are sick and tired of all the bullshit. And yes, I think that unity should be. I think that Trump, I have to give the man kudos on the fact that he's rewriting some of his speeches and shit and stuff like that. So he does not, he said he's done fucking, cracking heads and shit like that for the time being. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to once he gets in office, but this thing is, man, I can't believe that people do not see through the thinnest of fucking wool that they're pulling over the eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're pulling saran wrap over the eyes. You should be able to see right through it. All the fucking court cases, all the fucking, why have we not heard a fucking thing, man, about the Russian dossier? How come that as soon as it come out that it was bullshit, nobody's heard shit about it since then? Is it just like they get a free fucking pass for that? Oh, yeah, well, they were trying to stop him, blah, 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 so it's okay that they did that, but then, oh, my God, you got a fucking porn star that has admitted that, she didn't even fucking want to go to court and shit like that. That's what they've spent tons and tons and tons of our fucking money on. And nobody's saying, that pisses me off that you are using, yeah, I'm a working guy. Sure, I pay a shit ton of taxes. But my thing is, for one, we shouldn't even be paying taxes. But outside of that, the thing is, even my little measly little bit that I do pay in, I can't even fathom to think that even $1 of what I paid went into some dossier or anything. They can bullshit all they want and say it was done privately funded. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They've literally started using our fucking money. Our dollar ain't shit anymore, man. And they just keep making it so they can keep fucking going after Trump. And it's like, you all would literally fucking break this country down to where we were eating out of the fucking sewers just to keep that man from fucking getting into office. And it's sad, man. And that's the only thing, that's what I have to say about it, is the fact is, I agree 100% with you. There's people out here on both sides and both parties that are so fucking full of hatred. And, you've seen after, yeah, I mean, that would have fired me up too when Trump stood up and raised his arm like that. Now I've already heard, well, look at him. That's exactly what Hitler did. I've heard that already. Jesus Christ, sorry, Lord. Y'all guys already know that he raised his arm up because he was pissed off. You can tell that. And he's raised it up in fight, like angry, not anything else but that. But what did bother me was when the camera was panning over the crowd and watching as they put him into, the vehicle, you had these guys standing up and turning around and flipping the camera off and stuff, man. So pissed off, flipping the camera off and stuff. It's like, man, if those guys would have had a weapon, they would have, I mean, poor camera guy, man, he probably, who knows who he was from or for or anything. You know what I'm saying? He was, and they would have shot him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they would have literally, I'm surprised they didn't grab him and, and that's one thing I have to give the people that were there, man. I have to give them props that they stayed calm, that, I think were still a little lost on what was happening until they realized, seeing blood and stuff. But they really did not, there could have been a lot worse, man, and just crowd taken off. There could have been trampling and people killed with that. And, I heard quite a few interviews with people where they said people were yelling, just stay calm, just stay calm, just stay calm, And thank God people did that. But could you imagine, like at the RNC right now, man, if something like that went down, holy shit, all those people, innocent people, man, not the point of getting shot as it would be, just the fact of people trampling over each other to get out. It's like screaming fire in a theater, And then, to make this point straight to old boy there, actually where I live at, so the True Mason-Dixon line, okay, is not exactly where they say it is, okay? I live still south of the fucking Potomac pretty much, you know what I'm saying, unless you go Harper's Ferry way. But if you look at old maps and shit, where I'm at, actually, I would have probably still could have been Confederacy and not been fucked with. So I'm like right on the line, but trust me, it don't take me but 20 minutes and I'm back
Make
in.
any excuses you want. You still live in Pennsylvania.
And I'm still, if I go 20 fucking minutes down the road, my brother, I am back home. And trust me, I am the one that you come into my Ghost City, man, you will hear me fucking yelling the South will rise again. I don't take any prisoners when we get talking North and South in there, man. I'm pushing right now for them to put a Confederate flag up inside the store. But I have to put the Union as well. But, trust me, I'm like,
I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old
dude, I've
times
been singing that stuff. Oh, yeah. I use it as a trigger object. You know what I'm saying?
Dixieland.
This new house that we have, man, that we're going to start investigating in. First thing I did was go in there to get shit wound up as I started playing fucking Dixie on the phone and shit. You know what I'm saying? To see if anything would get wound up and stuff. Well, that's how they've had interaction with shit. And there's the one guy, he plays Dixie, and he's from West Virginia, but he's like Deep Woods, West Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like they pipe in fucking sunshine. You know what I'm saying? That type of Deep Woods. And he will tell you, man, fucking Union. He's like, you get him wound up and shit. But it's funny because, there ain't going to be no
The North
South
goes
and
marching
North.
in. Da-da, da-da. The North goes marching in. Da-da.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you now, I would love to see how it would have ended up with the people now around, you know what I'm saying? Because it would have been a lot different. And living in Gettysburg, man, I can tell you now that battle was done by narcissistic behavior, man. That battle would have probably still happened, but it would have been a lot different. Not saying that the ending would have been the same or not the same, but literally Lee told them not to fire, and they did. And literally, they told Sickles not to do anything either, and he decided to do what the fuck he wanted to do, which almost collapsed the whole fucking Union line. Think about it. You had the fucking, it's just like with the Trump thing. The best place for them to have been at was Little Round Top. And Sickles did not want to do that. He wanted to go the route he wanted to. So fuck, man, the second day you had the highest point that you could shoot from anywhere up there, wide open. You know what I'm saying? Wide open. And it's just like that. How could have Lee or other people missed such an opportunity or not take it? You know what I'm saying? And there's a ton of different things that we could talk about with that, but it just comes back to that. You had high ground, a place where a shooter could see the stage, wasn't any, literally, man, could have probably, somebody with a strong fucking arm could have thrown a baseball and hit the fucking stage with it. And you're not going to protect that. But it all comes down, dude. There's too much shit that was happening, that doesn't point at the fact that this was planned. By who? That's something we'll have to wait and find out. I'm not going to point fingers until, I hear more shit, and I might not even then. But the point is, it was planned. So that's my 2 cents.
I think everybody's kind of had their say and said their piece, and I think we're mostly in agreement. Mostly. I mean, you got the Californian, but you got to remember, Californians' opinions only count a little bit to the whole conversation because they're Californian.
Don't be mad because everything comes to this. If it, you know what the problem is, still in the end, California is going to be the reason why whoever wins the presidency. So remember that.
No, it won't even matter.
We have the most delegates.
California's always blue, people. Bro. California's always blue. California, you don't even think about California in an election. It's always blue because them fucking dumbass people keep voting for the Democrats no matter how shitty their state gets, no matter how crap, or they just don't vote. Like you're not even voting, dude.
But hey, you live in a blue state. All of us live in a blue state in technicality. You who lost? Virginia lost. To what? A blue state. Pennsylvania's a blue state.
At least I voted.
I voted the last time.
You're complaining about taxes. You're complaining about taxes and all that kind of shit, but you're not even going to vote. So
there's nothing I can do here. This state's fucked.
But anyway, we've all had our say. So let's do shout outs and wrap this sucker up.
Okay. Thank you, brother. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. And the sad thing is that California is pretty much doomed, bro. It doesn't matter. We're going to go one way. That's why it's pointless. Other than that, man, I just so everybody knows, we're doing the show so people know the truth. I'm now, like I said, not 100% of it is always going to be. We don't know everything yet. When we learn more, we'll talk about it more. But I want to thank everybody for listening to us on Spotify, YouTube, wherever else we're on. I think Cloud got us mumbling like fucking Biden. But other than that, but I want to thank you guys. I enjoy doing the show. I know it's very controversial. I'm not a big fan of some of the stuff that people on here say, but I still go along with it. I'm not going to go cry and cancel people. I mean, everybody's to their opinion. Trust me, right now, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I am not a fan of the South. The South can kiss my ass. And I'm not afraid of it. I live in California too, but I'm joking with them because I'm trying to get them riled up. But my family did fight against the South in the 1800s, and they were Northerns, and I have no shame to it. Most of my family fought in a lot of wars. But hey, who won? But that's the truth. But my uncle was in special forces. He was a real badass in Korea. He killed a lot of people, and he wasn't proud of it, dude. But he was in special forces. My grandfather fought in the World War II. I have a lot of family was in a lot of wars, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of this country, even though what's going on sucks. It's everybody, because I'll tell you right now, if Biden, somebody took a shot at him, there would have been Republicans doing the same shit. And I seen it when Obama was in office. People were talking about killing him, and I saw it with my own eyes. And you know what? It's sad that it's coming down to this. And I'm not defending anybody, but it would have been true. There's idiots on both sides. And they believe the world's going to come to an end, or they believe that Trump's going to become a dictator. And like you said, he was already here 4 years ago. None of that shit happened. That's one thing I will agree with James on, that didn't happen. So we just spent a lot of time on this because it was a fucking big subject right now. But other than that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a long ass show. We'll do next week and talk about something else. But thank you guys. Misfits, Sugarlays, Monster Lovers, Demon Hunters. I love you and have a great night, guys. I'm tired myself. Cocksucker.
It's on you, Andy.
So yeah, we have a blast on here, man, and I want to give a shout out to both of you guys for that. But tonight I wanted to give a shout out to a person that we lost tonight. I want to give a shout out to Jay Powell. He was a musician, a good friend, pretty much a lifelong friend. No matter how much, time between seeing him, no matter where I was or something, he always reached out, and he made sure that if he saw me in a crowd, while he was up performing on a stage, that he would make sure that he shouted at me on stage. But the biggest thing is, man, that, he was a young guy still. I mean, Jay was mid-50s and, passed from cancer. Fuck cancer. But I wanted to give a shout out to him, man, and for all the lives that he touched. Even if, it was just one performance or something that somebody's seen him at, you couldn't go see him perform, even if it was a single acoustic act, man. You couldn't help but stop when he started to sing, because the man, he looked like a redhead version of Sam Kinison. That's what we tried to say. Like, he was that build, short, stocky, had a belly on him, had long red curly hair, just, rough 80s looking, dude. But the thing was, when he would sing, man, I've never heard anybody that had so much control and just be able to belt out anything. And it wasn't like he had to warm up much either. Like, you'd just be sitting around him. Like, we would work, together. When I ran an apartment complex, was head of maintenance there. His company would come in and they would be the ones to repaint the apartments. And I'd be standing beside him or something, and he would just start belting out singing, man. And it was key, spot on. You know what I'm saying? But, James, he was in trial and error with us. And we shared a lot of stage time with Jay. But just all around, the man he didn't have a whole lot. But the thing was, he was happy. And that's the thing, man. To lose such a person is a huge hit to the music community, and the Valley especially. But he was singing with the Road Ducks, and that was something, man, just for him to get, even though they're older guys and stuff, they are martyrs in the old Southern rock scene, and to see Jay as happy as he was to do that. I've watched him. I can't even tell you how many times I watched him on stage. We've shared the same band room, and there was never a time that he ever looked at people that, how can I say this? I don't know if he ever judged anybody, like, even if they were an asshole to him. He would still just kind of smile and roll on with it. All the bars and places that he played in and stuff, I don't think, James, maybe you can, I can't remember any time I've ever heard him get in a fight, or having a disagreement. And that says something, but, Jay left behind, girlfriend, Sandy, who's a friend of ours. Shout out to her for sticking by his side through all this. But Jay left, family, both blood and, family. So the shout out is to him. Thank you for blessing my life and many others. And, I can just hope that one day I'll be reunited. And definitely, if they're looking for people to praise God in heaven, they definitely going to get a good one when he shows up, man. So, yeah, shout out to him. Love you, brother. And, maybe it's not always a bad thing that you've been removed. You know what I'm saying? Because some things could be happening that's even worse coming. And, but a life taken, by something that probably they already have a cure for, in my opinion. But, yeah, shout out to him, man. Definitely for just being who he was, and the definite impact on the music industry that's so dear to at least Hershey and I here.
Usually when somebody passes away, you always say, condolences to, the friends and the family and all that kind of stuff. With Jay, you can't really say that, because there is no friends and family. If you knew him, you were family. All of us were family. That's who Jay was. I mean, even if he met you only once or twice, man, you were family. At least that's the way you felt. He was one of those kind of people that when he was talking to you, nobody else in the world existed but you. That's how you felt. You always got 100% of that man's attention. And he genuinely cared about what you were saying. He was like a lot of people. When you talk to them, you can see in their eyes, right? You can see their thinking. And what they're thinking of is not about what you're saying. They're thinking about what they're going to say about what you're saying, right? So you'll be saying something, and in their head, they're thinking, okay, as soon as this motherfucker shuts up, I'm going to say this, this, and this. And then they're kind of coming up with their own dialogue inside their head that they're going to say, and they're not only half listening to you at this point, right? You never had that with Jay. That dude always laser focus on you. And you were the only person that mattered at that moment. And I can't tell you how important that is and how good that makes people feel. That's something that I took from Jay. I mean, I was a musician most of my life. I played music professionally, all that kind of stuff, right? But the funny thing is, the most important lesson I ever learned from Jay was not a musical lesson. I mean, Jay was an amazing musician. Don't get me wrong. He's way better than I ever was. But the most important lesson that I ever took from him was not about singing. It was not about playing guitar or playing bass or anything like that. The most important lesson I ever learned from Jay was when you're talking to people, give them your full attention. Actually listen and pay attention and care. And that is proven to be invaluable to me in my life. I mean, when I go and do book signings or stuff like that, meet and greets and that kind of shit, every person I talk to, I look them straight in the eye and I actually have a conversation with them. I'm not like, yeah, okay, cool, thank you, move on, next person. I'm not one of those guys. You're actually going to get me when you talk to me. And I learned that from him. I learned that at a young age from him because I first met Jay when I was only like 17, 18 years old, something like that. And I mean, everybody knows what you're like when you're 17, 18 years old, man. You're full of piss and vinegar and think you rule the world. You can't learn from nobody. But he impressed me. And it had nothing to do with how good of a musician he was. Yes, he was an amazing vocalist. That motherfucker could sing, man. No doubt about it. But that was honestly one of the least impressive things about Jay. The kind of man that he was, the kind of human being that he was way more impressive. So obviously, condolences and prayers to his family and to Sandy and to everybody that knew him, because the world is a little bit heavier because he's not in it. He had a way of, no matter what was going on in your life, if you were talking to Jay, you felt better. You just felt good because that's the way he made people feel. And I wasn't like super, super close with the man. Andy was definitely closer than I was to Jay. But I have spoken with Jay probably dozens and dozens of times in my life. You know, like Andy said, we played a lot of gigs together. We, you know, did a lot of shows, shared a band space, all that kind of stuff. And I know I'm sad he's gone. You know, I'm glad he's not suffering anymore. And I have a little bit of a different view when somebody dies. I don't get super sad about it, especially if they're saved, because I know that he's in paradise with Christ right now. And I know that I will see him again, you know. Now, if he wasn't saved, we'd be having a whole different conversation. I'd be a little bit more sad because I'd know I'd never see him again, you know, and that where he is not a nice place to be. But with that being said, much love to Jay, to Sandy, to the family, to everybody. Love you guys. And last thing I'll say on the show is, you know, we fuck around with Old Boy because he's from California. We like to joke around. He jokes with us about being, you know, rebels and from the South and all this shit. It's a kind of an ongoing gag that we have between us. So just anybody listening that don't know us or, you know, you don't watch the show very often or whatever, just understand none of that shit's real. We're just bullshitting each other, just pulling each other's dicks a little bit, being silly. You know what I mean? But yeah, we fuck with him from being from California, and he fucks with us from being Southern. You know, that's just kind of our deal. So just understand that there's no real beef there. We're not actually bitching at each other or pissed off at each other or anything like that. We just like to fuck around. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. As always, it's up to you to make up your own mind, man. I brought up some heavy shit tonight. This is a heavy show. But you can't find a lie in anything I've said. I told you the truth like I always do. It's up to you. Make up your own mind. If you honestly believe that all of this is on the level and up and there was no hanky-panky behind the scenes here, I guess that's on you, you know? But I think it's pretty obvious. And, you know, the reason why when those people, when they were putting him in the vehicle and getting him out of there, those people were flipping off the camera and shit, the reason why that was happening is because all of those people in that crowd knew that they just tried to kill our fucking president. You know, and they were pissed. And they were flicking off the fucking cameras because it was CNN and them cocksuckers. And you even notice the one guy said, "You need to tell the fucking truth about what happened here." That's what they said. You can hear it on the video. They were pissed because they tried to kill our fucking president. And everybody there knew exactly who did it. They knew it wasn't some dork up on top of the fucking roof. That wasn't the main cause here. That might have been the guy that got to pull the trigger. If that's even true, who fucking knows? I don't put nothing past these people. But they know who instigated this. They know who's behind this shit. Every person, or almost every person, at least every person with more than 2 functioning brain cells that watched at home knows that too. You can't tell me you didn't watch that and say, well, damn, they can't beat him, so now they got to kill him. I guarantee you most of you thought that shit, didn't you? You won't admit it probably because you don't want to be looked at as a conspiracy person. But everybody knows what's up. It's just like if you're watching, you know, we talked about basketball a little bit earlier. Let's do that again. It's like if you're watching a basketball game and a team is getting their ass handed to them. Like bad, dude. Like it's like 90 to fucking 20 or something is the score. And it's like halftime. And they're like, what the fuck are we going to do, man? We cannot stop these guys. They're going to cream us, man. We can't win. They're just so much better. What does an underhanded, demonic type, evil fucking bastard coach do? Take out their star player. We've all seen it. We've all seen movies like that. Shit, some of us have played sports have even heard that shit in a locker room. You see number 34, the running back there, you take his fucking knees out. He's running all over us today. We can't stop him. Injure him. I've heard that myself in a locker room before. If you can't beat him, hurt him. Then you got a chance. Now, what do you think that these evil bastards, you think that they're capable of something like that? They've already proven that they're capable of lying, trying to destroy people, putting people that were guilty of nothing more than really trespassing, in locking them up in jail for years, without a trial, most of them. They've proven they're capable of that. They jump around and rejoice at the idea of ripping a baby out of a mother. In my state, after the baby's born, killing it. Trump talked about that in the debate. Biden called him a liar. Biden's full of shit. Our governor, Northam, he said that the baby would be delivered, made comfortable, and then a conversation would take place with the doctor and the mother to find out what they wanted to do. What the fuck do you mean, what do you want to do? That baby's alive, man. It's over there in the crib chilling. What the fuck you gonna do? He was talking about abortion. That's the conversation they were having when he said that. So make no mistake, some of these motherfuckers think it's perfectly acceptable not only to have a late-term abortion where you kill the baby when it's fully formed 9 months, but even after the fucker's born. That's evil. So if they're capable of that, and they glory in that, that's what Andy was talking about earlier, taking away women's health care. They look at that as women's health care. That kind of evil is what we're talking about, and worse. So you think that those evil bastards wouldn't say, well, we can't beat him, so take him out? If a football coach would do it, now he wouldn't want you to kill the running back, but damn, you might be able to tweak his leg a little bit so he can't, give him a little extra business down in the huddle there. You all pile on the ball, and give him a little fucking there, bite a little poke in the eye, that kind of shit. We've all done that. Look at Andy. Look at that motherfucker. He done that shit. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's why people were flipping off the camera. That's why people around everywhere are pissed, because they know damn well what this was. And you can say it's whatever the hell you say it is. You can call us any name you want. Doesn't matter. Every fucking person knows deep down in their soul what this was. And they know this shit don't make sense. There are no coincidences, people. When there's a lot of coincidences in a row in anything in life, it's a plan. This shit just doesn't happen. So anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Make up your own mind. Blah, blah, blah. It's fucking late. I'm hot. So I can't have my air conditioner running in here in my studio because it sounds like a fucking airplane taking off in here. When I have the air conditioner running, it is so loud. The mics, I got mics everywhere. They pick that shit up so fucking loud. It's like, that's all the fuck you hear. So I can't have it. So like literally when I'm doing this show and when I'm doing staring for hours and hours at a time, I'm in here in the studio. I've got all these lights on me so that I show up right and everything, and the fucking green screen, all that shit works. So I got to have a lot of lights. So I got hot ass lights on me. It's 104 degrees today. All I have is a tiny little fan that doesn't make that much noise. So I'm hot as hell. So I'm out of here. I love you. Appreciate you. Make up your own mind. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.